All right, this is Megan. This is the Spiritual Survey. All right, Megan, first question is, do you believe in God?
Yes, I do.
What religious background would you have?
I mean, like, whatever, Baptist. Like,
Well, I mean, some people believe in God, but they believe in Buddha.
Oh, well, then I'm Baptist, like, I believe in God, yeah.
You believe in the Christian God?
Yes,
Okay.
Christian God.
Okay, so do you believe there's life after death then?
Yeah.
You believe there's
Like,
life?
reincarnation, like that.
Yeah, what does life after death look like to you?
I think it's like reincarnation. You come back like a bird or an animal. Something that you weren't,
Really?
Yeah, something
Okay,
you wanted
so
to be.
how does that compute with Christianity? Okay, so there is no heaven and hell then? There's just because Christianity, if you're a Baptist, they would believe after death that either you're going to go to heaven or hell. Do you believe in a heaven or a hell?
I don't know, man.
Kind of a mixture in between
Yeah.
reincarnation.
Yeah, like right now, like where I'm at, like I kind of don't really know what to believe. Like I have what my grandparents, like they go to church all the time, and I don't really go to church that much. Like I don't know why, but I still believe in God, and I still believe in heaven and hell, but I would like to think that you would get reincarnated. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Well, maybe some of these questions can kind of help define what you believe. Sometimes just getting people to ask questions and helping you kind of think it out. So let's go back to the first part. If you believe there is a heaven and a hell, where would you go?
Me?
Yeah.
I would like to think I'd go to heaven.
All right, so you like to go to heaven. On what grounds would you go to heaven?
Just like, just following the Bible and stuff like that.
Okay, follow the Bible. So would you consider yourself a good person? So you would say, and would that be a prerequisite of going into heaven to be a good person? Yeah. So bad people go to hell, good people go to heaven. At least, okay, we're there. All right, so the Bible does have a little test to see if you're good enough. It's called the 10 Commandments. You might have heard of them. And so basically what the Bible says, if you've broken any of these 10 commandments, you can't be in the presence of God. You can't go to heaven, basically. So let's take the test. Number one, have you ever said a lie?
Yes.
So by definition, I have to. That would make us liars. Have you ever stolen anything? Maybe even when you were younger, ever in your entire life?
Probably. Yeah.
So that's number two. That would make you a thief. Okay. Have you ever disrespected your parents?
Definitely.
All right. So that would make you disobedient. That's three. All right, here's a personal one. Have you ever looked upon a guy lustfully at any point in your life? Yeah. All right, well, the Bible says if you look upon somebody lustfully, then you've committed adultery. All right, so maybe we shouldn't finish the rest of them because so far you're already a lying, thieving, disobedient adulterer. So you're going to stand before God, and you've already broken 4 out of the 10.
Yeah.
What are you going to say when you stand before Him?
You have to get baptized. I believe that baptized it washes all the sin away. And I'll hopefully get baptized before I die. But if not.
Yeah. What if not? What if today you went home and you just straight up got in a car wreck?
What would I say to you? I don't know. I guess I would beg for forgiveness.
All right. So you beg for forgiveness.
Yeah.
So you would hopefully beg for forgiveness, and the outcome would be, all right, come on in, I forgive you. Well, let's take an earthly example. Say you were driving down the road, maybe one night you went out and partied a little bit, you got a little tipsy, and you ran over a little girl because you were a little drunk. And the next day you had to stand before a judge, and you committed a crime. You killed someone's daughter.
Yeah.
Would that judge be fair if you just begged for forgiveness and he let you go?
No, that wouldn't be fair.
All right, so if that wouldn't be fair on an earthly court, why would it be fair if God's a good judge and you broke already 4 out of the 10, we won't even finish the rest? Yeah. Would he be a bad judge then to actually let you into heaven?
Yeah, I guess. If we're supposed to follow those 10 commandments and we don't, Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. You're going to go to hell.
I know, that's crazy.
That's something to think about, huh?
I know.
Well, here's the good news. See, we believe just like that courtroom that Jesus. Let's go back to that courtroom analogy. If somebody came in and they said, "You killed this girl," or somebody stepped in the place and said, "Judge, I know that she made a mistake and she killed this girl. This life sentence that she has, I will serve it for her." That's basically what Jesus has done. We've committed a sin. I've committed those same sins that you have. I've broken those same things. None of us are good enough to make it into heaven. Because once we compare it to the Ten Commandments, we've all broken them. And if we break any of them, we can't make it in.
Yeah.
So Jesus, in essence, said somebody has to pay the price. And so Jesus said, I'm gonna pay the sentence. And that's what he's done. A lot of people say, well, why does God send people to hell? God doesn't send anybody to hell. Let's just take a simple analogy that God's nature is love, it's purity, it's sinless. Take like a glass of water. That's God. When he first created man, that's like another glass of water. We could be in his presence. We could be in the mixture. But at one point, you know about Adam and Eve, we introduced sin. And I'm thinking of a simple analogy. That's kind of like oil.
Yeah.
We put oil in the equation, and no matter how much we try to mix it, no matter how much oil and water will not mix.
Yeah.
And so what Jesus did was come into place, soak up the sin, take the penalty that we can once again be merged with God. So, in helping you define maybe some of your beliefs, because you're searching, I see that.
Yeah.
That basically, you know, there is no other God. There is no reincarnation.
Yeah.
But God is real, and heaven and hell is real.
Yeah.
But the awesome news is that we can be a part of that. We can be in the presence of God if we ask Him for Jesus to take that sin away, and then we give God our lives, and we start to figure it out a little bit more. Because honestly, if heaven and hell is real, it's probably worth looking into. You know, just like you would study out whatever thing.
I don't mean to interrupt. We're gonna leave about 10 minutes. Okay. We'll meet out there about that. Okay.
It's probably worth looking into. You know, if even if it's a 2% chance of being real, I think it's valuable enough to say, okay, let me search this thing out a little deeper. Because honestly, on this campus, if you're kind of shifty on what you believe, they'll give you a belief system real quick, and that's not God. That's one of the things that we're trying to encourage people, that 80% of people are going to walk away from God. If they're Christians, they're going to walk away from God on the college campus because they just haven't thought about their faith.
Yeah.
And when they're like, I don't know, and well, you kind of sound like you know what you're talking about. Even now, you're like, well, yeah, sure. You're kind of agreeing with me because I sound like I know what I'm talking about. But I would encourage you to look at it yourself and go a little deeper. If there's any possibility of God and heaven and hell being real, it's worth the same time that you're giving even your schoolwork to say, you know what, I'm going to look into it.
Yeah.
Because if we think it's the most important decision you could ever make in your whole life, probably want to give it some time. Thank you for your time. What was your name again?
Megan.
Megan?
Yeah.
Thank you again.